currently behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz Marco Polo. You might not have heard of it, it's a pretty low volume vehicle. It's based on their Vito van, but it's with a twist, it's a camper. So this roof above me here pops up, you can sleep 2 up there, and the seats fold down in the back and you can sleep 3 in there. It's got diesel heating, extra auxiliary power, and a few other nifty features that help make this thing a pretty decent camper, I think. So, how do you test out a car like this one? Well, of course, you have to take it camping. And I know a spot here that's a pretty nice little spot by a river that'll be good. But camping on your own can be a little bit lonesome, a little bit boring, so I'm bringing a mate along. And he's also driven this car before and camped out of it, so he knows a bit more about it than I do. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Beautiful. Lots of room.
Plenty of room. Thanks for picking me up. Where are we going?
Heading up the road here, mate. A little bit of a way to go yet, but a nice little camping spot on the river. I've been there a couple of times before. It's awesome. It's pretty secluded too, so hopefully we'll have it to ourselves.
I hope so. It's part and parcel of having a car like this, being able to get away from it all.
Absolutely.
And I do remember last time I was in one of these 12 months ago, it looked largely the same. So there doesn't appear to be a lot of cosmetic changes to this vehicle. How was the drive?
Well, I've put a few Ks on it already this morning getting up here before I picked you up, and I've got to say it's quite good. These seats, good thigh support, you've got lumbar control. Yep. This engine's nice and torquey, nice and efficient, nice and quiet. This thing is easy to punch out Ks in, which I think is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember it just purrs along. It's really comfortable on the road and it doesn't feel like a van to drive too much.
It's like a big hatchback almost, with a good driving position. You're sort of sitting up nice and high.
Yeah, you can see quite a lot in front of you, which again is important in a car you're going to do a lot of kilometres in.
100%.
I remember last time when we pulled up, setting up the back bed was a bit of a nightmare, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
We'll give that a try later, maybe before dark, so we don't get into trouble.
I think definitely before dark. That's where we ran into trouble last time.
Okay.
I think 3 of us had a go and it didn't end too well. Okay. But I do like they've got that pop top there still.
This should be fairly simple, I'd like to think anyway.
Very simple, a couple of clips and a reading light, which is a nice touch for the Mercedes guys.
Yes.
And the floor, again, easy to sweep out. It's the sort of floor that's not going to get too damaged under a lot of feet.
And I think that's important too. I mean, you don't want carpet in there because it's going to get full of sand, grass, mud, dirt, because you're going to be camping in this thing if you're going to be using it correctly.
Absolutely. And as a midweek driver picking kids up, how do you reckon you'd go?
I reckon it could work pretty well. I mean, if you were just, say, 1 or 2 of you, you could probably get away with a van with a mattress in the back and a false floor or something like that. But if you needed to impress some friends with a decent looking van that was fairly comfortable, this would work well. Or if you had 2 or 3 kids or something doing the weekly rounds, this would work. And then on weekends, hopefully, you can get away and enjoy some countryside.
And let's do just that. I'm happy for you to sit there and drive and chew up the kilometres.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see where we're going.
A little bit of a way to go yet, mate, but hold tight.
Excellent.
Dom, I reckon this Marco Polo is going to be pretty quick to set up, but is it as quick as this swag? This thing has no poles, no zips, no nothing. It's very fast, but do you reckon you can beat me?
2 clips, pop a roof. I think I'll have to wait for the door to open though.
Right, all right. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, go.
How you going there?
Done.
Pretty close?
Let's call it a draw.
I think so.
All right, what's next?
I think we'll put this awning out. So close the door because this will roll out and sometimes it
gets in the
could
way
get
of that
caught
there.
on the door and you could damage your door and you don't want that. And the hard part is to get that in there. That's what I mean. That's what happened last time. So they're not clipped in properly from the previous user. Mate, this is a beautiful spot. Thankfully, no rain today.
Yes, but it does happen, and if it does happen, this is actually quite livable, I think. It's pretty bad if you're huddled under a little tarp or something like that when it's raining, but with this Marco Polo, you could come in here and it's not too bad. Seats swivel around, you've got a table. It's pretty spacious, especially with headroom with this thing out of the way up top.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a fair bit of storage in here to put your equipment. Got a little hidey hole down here. I can put a bottle of wine in, keep that away from the kids.
Very nice.
And I'm sitting on some drawers that slide out that are quite roomy too.
Very handy. I understand that this will transform once again into a room that will sleep 5, and I think you had a bit of trouble with it last time.
I certainly did. So it was late at night and we were trying to set the bed up, and it became a little bit difficult to the point we couldn't get it set up properly.
Can be a recipe for disaster sometimes.
It can. So let's see if we can get it right this time around.
Let's give it a go.
Once you realise you have to remove the table assembly completely from the rails it runs on, it's easy to move the seat into the bed position by pulling the lever on the side, shifting the base of the seat forwards, and then folding the backrest back and butting it up against the padded parcel shelf in the back of the van. The seatbelt attachments are not so easy to stow away. This is a basic conversion, and it means you don't get the sink, the stove, a fridge, or the storage down the side. But the advantage is you do get a full width bed, and if there's 2 of you sleeping down here, that's a far more comfortable option.
Underneath me here is a diesel heater, which is obviously really awesome if you're wanting to do some winter camping. It's controlled by a little dial up here. A little bit hard to understand and control, to be honest with you, but if you did have the booklet, it'd be fine. Now this is controlled by 2 different batteries. There's one under here and one under here. One is your starter battery, one's your auxiliary battery, but you just need to make sure that your 12-volt power outlets around the van are running off the right battery, so you're not going to end up with a dead starter in the morning.
While Sam starts the fire, I've come down to the bank of the river to have a quick fish. I've tried a surface lure in and around some of the edges, but up here in the deeper section, I've decided to put on a vibe. These dive quite deep, or they actually sink, so in the deeper holes can be quite productive. This is a small Australian bass. These guys are super aggressive. Have a look at the lure that he's hit. And they're a lot of fun to catch in these places where there are not many people around. I hope there's a few bigger ones in here, but they're reasonably prolific all along the east coast. And that is a great Australian bass. I'm so happy with that. He's in pretty good condition. He's probably a little bit thin, not as thick as you would expect them to be, but we're quite a long way from the coast. We're right up in the freshwater here. I have seen fish up to 50 centimetres caught. I haven't done that myself. This is not a bad one, but they do get much bigger than this. And even that guy put up quite a fight.
So we got up pretty early this morning, had a bit of a fish and a little bit of a swim to freshen up as well. Dom, how was the master bedroom upstairs?
It's actually quite comfortable. It is a bit of a struggle to get up to it. So if you've got kids, it's probably more appropriate for them. And you could certainly fit 2 kids up there without too much hassle. The bed's quite flat and it's pretty comfortable. I did find it a bit hot up there though. Even with the side windows open, there wasn't a lot of airflow. So therefore it did get a bit stuffy.
I was a bit stuffy downstairs as well, I've got to say. You'd love to have a bit of mesh or something that you could throw over a window so you could open up, because there was a lot of bugs here last night. Had to keep it shut. And it was a bit warm. For me, the mattress was a little bit uncomfortable as well. It's just a chair that folds down, so it's not a true mattress. You'd probably want to have something like a blow-up or a self-inflating mattress or something like that. I'd have to say, Dom, I'd love to see this thing with a bit of a four-wheel drive line. Imagine some decent tyres, a bit of off-road capability, get you to some of those better campsites around the place.
It would really get you to some amazing places. But as it stands, I think it's quite capable, given its setup. I think that most of the buyers are going to be generally older people. They're not really going to do that hardcore off-roading. And this is one of the only ready available, set up, hit the road and go camper conversions that are available from a showroom floor.
And having that ability just to turn up, buy it, it's ready to go, there's some peace of mind there, no warranty issues, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
It is quite unique in that regard.
You don't even have to drive it home. You can go straight to the nearest campsite.
You could. And speaking of which, maybe let's go see if there's a couple more bass in this creek, eh?
Oh, there has to be.
And if you want to get up to some extra activities out in the bush, this Marco Polo does have roof rack capability up on that pop top. You could put some rails up there, throw something like this two-man kayak on there, fishing kayak, canoe, stand-up paddleboards, whatever. Then you can go out and do some exploring, bit of extra fishing. This way?
I've got to wet up. Well, we're filling up. We're sinking.